Well, silver holders are sort of like this owl and this hound dog, just kind of waiting and watching for the big kaboom, right? You know, and actually, if you're waiting for the big kaboom in the markets, actually, you're probably in luck in that way because the margin debt is at record highs. That's no doubt. The margin debt is at record highs, and which means that if there's a sell-off, actually, it hasn't been as this high. It's been higher now than it's actually been in 1999. So if there's a sell-off, which means there's going to be loads of margin calls, which means that people are going to have to sell more stocks to actually, cover their margin, and pop, 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 and, there it goes, right? Snowballing all the way downhill. So in the meantime, most people don't give a damn because they don't have any stocks anyway. They got panheads with fishtails on it in their living room or their bedroom, and they don't give a damn, right? So, a lot of people don't give a shit. So, actually, most of the people who got stocks are, not say the 1%, but it's definitely way less than 10% of the people in the country. So, that's one thing. But, the other thing is that this other thing called the Shiller Index. The Shiller Index, which is the confidence of stocks. And the confidence is lacking. Although Sarah Palin seems to have plenty of confidence, and she gives that devil sign, that things are going great. But, anyway. So the Shiller Index, it's a famous one, actually. Yeah, the last time, well, it was at a freaking extreme low when that's another thing. That's another correlation with the dot-com bubble. So the margins are worst, So, hey, man. So there's a couple things. Also, the debt to equity, that was another chart, So it's almost like, how high are you? Do you think these damn things are going up, man? It's not going up, The Shiller Index actually is a confidence index. There's like the institutional index, and there's the individual index. So a lot of people are thinking, hey, I got no confidence in this crap. Whenever a lot of people don't have confidence in something, that's not good. Because stocks are psychological. It's not like saying I don't have confidence or have confidence in this steel beam because whatever the hell it's supposed to work for, that's one thing. But with stocks, it's highly psychological. So people are saying, hey, stock market, bro, how high are you? It's too high. I don't have the confidence in this. A lot of people are going to be getting out. So, anyway, the Wall Street wolves are actually surrounding the small investor. Actually, there's a lot of people that are shorting the markets, but, I knew the Soros guy's been shorting the S&P. He lost his ass, though, on part of it. And I don't know. I don't know what, you really don't know everything everybody's doing. I do know, which I found interesting, at Goldman Sachs was the number one holder, at least they were before, in double leveraged oil. If they got out now, they already freaking made out like a fat rat because it went from 40 to 60. I think there's going to be some serious tensions in the Middle East. And, maybe that's going to, it could be anything that could start a sell-off in the markets. Anything, So in the meantime, we got we're gazing through the glasses and we got the crystal ball going here. So the other thing is that there's more debt to equity than ever. Severe debt to equity. But what's kind of weird? The hotel industry is doing great, yet the retail industry is not doing so good. And the area that the retail industry is doing good, like say for instance in clothing, is like the cheaper stuff. None of the high fashions, like Macy's and stuff is not doing so well for that kind of reason. People are kind of going for value, but the hotel industry is doing very good. Now, I don't know if that has to do with prostitution, though, because I really don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. Maybe there's different type of clientele in there, for all I know. I have no idea. Because actually, I do know during, that's another freaking index, the Hooker Index, but we ain't going to talk about that right now. But in the meantime, it's like things have always been doing this garbage for a long period of time, but I think we're coming up on a cataclysmic global problem. And here's another fact. the 58 Plymouth don't have nothing to do with this, but you know, I kind of like the 58 Plymouth, you know, because it reminds me of the good old days. I want to go back to the good old days and skip all this new shit. Anyway, but there's another thing going on. There's South Korean exports. They're plummeting. And that is what they call the canary in the coal mine. And, you know, you also have the Baltic Dry Index has been real low, and it's been that's how many freaking, you know, things are being shipped all over the place. That's been real low. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And, you know, I don't know, all the major media is not singing the same song. There's some people telling you, hey, it's going up. The markets are going to go up. This is a good time to get in. The Fed's not going to do this. But, you know, the Fed, I don't know if they're going to raise interest rates or not. I personally don't think they're going to. I think they're just talking about it. But, hey, we're coming up pretty close to that big cataclysmic September 2015, right? Wow, here it's June 1st. Ooh, so what is that? It's 3 months away, right? 3.5? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. You know, that's supposed to be when the fourth blood moon happens in the 7 years right on the nose when the markets could crash. And I don't know. We're going to find out. It ain't too far away. So, but, you know, it's like, I think it's all kind of coordinating with a lot of different things in the Middle East, too. You know, like, there's some severe problems. And, you know, I just want to remind people, too, I put this photo up here for a reason. You know, when we come into next winter, be prepared. Because I know a lot of people into silver, they try to be prepared in different ways. And actually, they got silver because of a financial catastrophic problem that may occur and the dollar going to oblivion. I don't think the dollar's going to oblivion, but there could be some kind of freaking normal. There could be a bad thing that happens. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's not cool. You know, there's a lot of debt in the world and with whole countries and stuff that are trying to keep everything going, and they're not. But, you know, we also got this problem with the mini ice age. You know, we're not going to global warming. And I think that's also going to put a heavy burden on the oil supplies and, you know, what they cost. And, you know, now we also got to deal with, what do you call it? The fracking, you know, the geological, what the hell it is? The geological survey, the ones that in the government, whatever, they're even saying right now that the fracking is causing earthquakes. So I'm thinking, you know, not only is the oil rigs plummeting, the number of oil rigs in the United States plummeting, at the same time, ISIS is giving us all these problems, you know, which, you know, may be the part of what the elite are trying to do. I don't know what the hell they're trying to do exactly. But on top of it is a lot of outcry that fracking's causing earthquakes. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, this is almost like making a perfect storm for freaking oil prices to go right through the roof during next winter when we have this record cold winter again, probably worse than we had last time, at least in the Northeast. Not in Alaska and Southern California maybe, but up in the Northeast and Midwest and USA. It's going to be bad news. So I'm just kind of warning people, you know, if you're a silver prepper and you're up in those areas, you might want to start thinking about that stuff early, even though we didn't get into summer yet, because, you know, you do things piecemeal and you don't feel it. That's the way I look at it. You know, you do one step at a time. But the most important thing, though, to remember is to stay tall, stay confident, stand tall, and, you know, keep your head and shoulders straight, whereby you're looking forward to the situation and you're not hunkered down like, you know, the end is near, and you're always telling yourself it's so bad. You know, that's why I don't like Alex Jones, because this guy is always telling everybody it's so bad. Watch my. I think I put out a while ago. I says I already know that most of these alternative media guys that are like really big, and they're making millions of dollars too, probably. They probably are working for the bad guys. Because if you want to be defeated, just tell yourself it's that bad. You will be defeated. Keep telling yourself the situation's that bad, and you will not be able to freaking do your job right and get the situation going. You want to stand tall. You want to stand there with your triumph, you know, like kind of triumph bike here, and keep your head up, and have a positive outlook, and just go forward, man. That's really what it is. So I don't really like on this channel. I guess it's kind of like a silver channel, but I don't just put stuff out about silver because it's just a freaking metal, man. It's like it's a protection in one way. There's too many other things, the ways to keep it protect you. But to sum it up again, with what's going on is that we got South Korean exports are down, really bad, right? That is usually the number one, a big indication that the global economy sucks, okay? Which, it's been sucking, but now it's getting worse. It's like the worst it's been since 2009, all right? The South Korean exports. And we also got the Baltic Dry Index, low as all hell, declining. Another thing. We also have the debt to equity ratio, all-time high. Well, we also have consumer rejections of loans at an all-time high. The worst it's been. It's about the same as it was during the last financial recession. The one that was 2008, 2009. Consumer rejections of loans. That's another one. Now, I'm not trying to scare you, man, but I'm trying to tell you that, you're probably going to see the markets go down. You're going to probably have to go QE infinity, and your metals will go up. That's what I'm figuring, okay? So in other words, the plan everybody's been planning on all along is probably going to be the deal. I'm not trying to scare people and tell doom and gloom. I'm just trying to tell you that, it's been taking a hell of a long time, though. It's freaking longer than I thought. But the other thing is the Schiller Index is also, that's another thing, where people and individuals and institutions are having low confidence in the markets that they're going to stay that high. And the Wall Street Wolves, they know what's going on, man. Just surrounding the little people, probably the middle, the ones that got their nest eggs still in these institutional stocks and stuff, like, these index funds are supposed to be pretty good, but when everything goes down, the index funds go down too. I mean, they all go down, right? And, the other thing is, the biggest whammy is like, like Marilyn would say, the margin debt is high. Bro, how high is your margin debt, are you? Whatever she's saying here. It's like record high, man. It's worse than even the 99.com bubble. And, if you look back historically, we never really recovered right exactly from the 99 bubble. Not exactly. There was a new bubble that was created in the real estate market that freaking blew out. Then there was a temporary bubble in the metals, in the commodities. But silver actually never hit its all-time high yet, which I'm thinking it's going to this next time. I don't know, some people are talking $250 silver. I don't know. I really don't think it's... We're going to have some serious... if silver goes to $100 an ounce, we got some serious problems in this country, man. I mean, serious. Even worse than having Sarah Palin as president. I mean, that'd be freaking pretty... I don't like Hillary Clinton. I don't like Sarah Palin or whatever. God, man. Oh, help. Anyway, we're screwed. Anyway, this chick could be president. She could be president. I don't know her name, but she sits on a motorcycle and she appreciates fine art. So anyway, she could be president. Anyway, so, skip Hillary and Billary and Pelosi and all that other stuff. But anyway, it looks like, we're going to have this market correction. And, I hate putting it out right now because, it's getting so damn close to that big time when they said, hey, man. Well, maybe it'll happen a little bit before that, too, because, how the markets come down sometimes. They kind of, actually the markets haven't been doing nothing. They've been going a little over 18,000 on a Dow and down below it and up, and it's like, they really ain't been doing nothing. The metals ain't been doing nothing either. And, maybe the metals will go freaking through the freaking floor when the markets go down. I think like platinum and palladium, if the markets crash like crazy, platinum and palladium should get hit pretty bad. Not necessarily gold though. Not necessarily gold and silver. I don't know, because it's like they got, silver's an industrial metal affected by the markets, and it's also linked to gold somewhat too. So I know everybody's kind of like looking at, hey man, what's gonna happen next? What are we gonna be looking forward to? It looks like all that doom and gloom crap these people have been talking about all along is just around the horizon. But don't hold your breath. But it doesn't look like it's some years from now. This is really getting serious now. Maybe I should freaking repeat that, even though I already said it a couple times. I should repeat that. That first off, we got the change in South Korean exports extremely low. That means the global economy is really bad. We also got the Baltic Dry Index extremely low. It's getting lower. It's freaking very bad. We also have the Schiller Index, which is the confidence in the market prices. It's been extremely low, but not only on an institutional level, but also in individuals. For individuals, that's their outlook. We also have the margins in the stock market at record highs, and once there's a sell-off, people are so, that's what happened in the 20s, right? Oh, number 3 is, I don't know if we tied or if we're number 1 now, but we were definitely we were number 3 up until last year in the longest bull run in U.S. stock market history. And last year we passed that up. We were number 2. Number 1 was the 20s. We might be number 1 for the longest bull run we've ever had for consecutive months. And I already said that the reason there's a bull run in the markets is the Fed's doing it. The Fed is actually causing this to happen. You know what I mean? And the other thing is consumer applications for loans, the rejections for those loans are at an all-time high, which means they're looking at these consumers' credit, how much money they got coming in, how long their employment stability is, and all this type of stuff, how many assets they have. If they're rejecting all these consumers' loans, that means, well, that's part of your money supply, But that they're also telling you these consumers aren't doing so good, and if they're asking for a loan, that means they need the money for something. So the next time this comes down, it's going to have some serious repercussions, and I think the only way the Fed can freaking react is to, hit the pedal to the metal and go all out on QE. Will that mean the metals go up? I sure as hell hope so. I mean, I like to see all the prices go down and just the metals go up, but I realize that's not how it's going to work, But I think the real key, though, is there's stuff brewing in the Middle East. And yeah, I think this guy, what the hell's his name? Joel Skousen, whatever his name is. He's one of the few guys that I actually listen to that's on Alex Jones. He's about the only one I listen to. He was saying that 50% of the plane sorties going against ISIS were coming back with their bombs intact. And, actually, when I look at that, I realize that that's because they're delaying, telling people to, to one up in the sky, hey, they see something, and you got to get confirmation, you got to get the go-ahead to go blow them up, and they wind up, they're long gone, and they're blowing up empty buildings. And it looks like they're allowing ISIS to get strong. But, I look at it like this. I think there's an overall game plan here, and the overall game plan is to create a much bigger, widespread conflict in the Middle East, which is going to lead to the perfect storm here in the USA for oil prices, because between all the rigs closing down and everything, all the operations closing down because of oil prices being too low and oil companies going belly up, if there's something, and Saudis can't even keep up with the freaking production of the globe. That's why it's up to $60 on the WTI, the oil. And you know what? And the reason I'm mentioning this oil stuff is because if you look historically, when oil like went up exponentially, not talking like it went up a few percent in one day or so. I'm talking about when it quadrupled inside of a year or more. And if it did that today, man, we'd be really screwed, especially with a mini ice age coming. That's what I'm saying, prepare. If it, that's when silver and gold go way up. So you're going to need this stuff just to survive. It's no BS, okay? So anyway, hopefully I'm giving you the right information here. I know it's been a long, patient wait on this bullshit, but I think it's going to be bearing fruit here fairly soon. Not tomorrow, but it's going to be 2015. And actually, I even said a couple years ago that it's going to start spiking up in 2014 or 2015. So, I'm not like totally off on this garbage. But when it does start moving, it's going to move faster than you expect. And unfortunately, I'm not going to know exactly how high is high, but I know that when it's too high, they're going to tell you it's going to go higher. And I wish I knew exactly how high it would be. But, as soon as it gets up to even 40, they're going to be predicting 500. You know how that crap goes, right? And I'm not going to be afraid to sell some of it because that's just how I figure I'm going to play conservative, even if I miss the peak. So, but waiting for like well over 50 first. So, anyway, figured I'd give you some good information here that's not exactly been portrayed too much on the media. And it's out there. The information's out there. But, the other thing is I want to say is that stay confident. Keep a cool head. And don't be a doom and gloomer. Because, that's part of the major alternative control of the media is to make you freaking have a negative attitude so you don't do your job right and you don't forge ahead and see the solutions. So stay chill.